So this is our DS Adapt driver line. We have 4 different drivers here. We have our LS, our X, Max K, Max D.
Now, what's the differences between those? So the average guy is watching this and saying, like, okay, which one do I start with?
Yeah. So the hint's in the name here. So LS stands for low spin.
Okay.
This one, Max D, D stands for draw.
Okay.
And then we have our 2 in the middle. So these are probably our meat of the market. K stands for MOI. So this is our Max MOI, most forgiving, 10,000 MOI.
Now, is it draw biased or no?
It is not dry biased.
Okay.
It's kind of middle of the road, so we'll get players from anywhere low handicap to high handicap hitting this club. Anybody who needs a little bit of forgiveness, left to right.
Who doesn't need forgiveness?
Who does not need forgiveness? We think this could be 50% of our market share of these drivers.
So this is an important one.
This is a very important one.
Interesting. Okay.
This is new for us. This is a story in the market that you're hearing a lot is the 10K. And this is kind of a balance between forgiveness and speed.
Is the LS?
This is the X model. So
Okay.
LS.
This is the one I tested last
Yeah.
year, and I like the X
Yeah.
model a lot.
This is the one that I play. I'm a 10 handicap, so this is the one I play.
Why do you like this versus this?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a swing feel for me. I am able to take this weight here on this one and take this 10-gram weight, and I move it up here to the front so I can put a little bit lower spin on this, but I still have a little bit of a more forgiving head. I cannot do that on this head. This one's all about forgiveness, so I want a balance.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah, and this one is our most compact. This is all about speed. A lot of our tour players are using this Max Holman.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one's got forward CG, so just all about delivering speed, maximum performance on that one. This one, like I mentioned at the beginning, this is our draw head. This has a draw face angle. It's got the weight in the heel. It's a little bit lighter weight, a little bit higher launching. Anybody who needs to get the ball up in the air a little bit easier.
If you hook like I do, that's not the one.
That is not the one for a hook. So one of the really cool things that's interesting about these drivers, new technology for us this year, is this Future Fit hosel system. So this allows you, if you are having trouble drawing it, you can go 2 degrees to the opposite direction to give you more of an open face angle to go a little bit more right. So what this system is, and maybe you can pan up here and see this, if we back up a little bit here. So this is our chart, and it's a little bit confusing when you first look at it. It's 33 settings, but if you focus on A1, if you can imagine, this is a downrange shot of being your perfect shot, your perfect launch, your perfect ball flight. A lot of people, when they first grab a driver, are not hitting that perfect shot. Let's say somebody's hitting it a little bit high and right. Let's say they're hitting it more over what like that A7 might be.
Yeah.
Then all we do is we put them in an opposite setting. So we'd put them into the G1 setting, and that brings them back to the middle.
Okay, that's very cool. I was wondering how you dial that in. Okay.
So it's a lot of options, but it's easy to understand. If you're hitting it right, let's say A5, then you put it in the E1 setting, and it gets you to A1.
Okay, that's cool. I'm glad you said that because I had no idea.
Yeah. Then on the launch monitor.
What
and
if you're
everything.
all over the place? What do you suggest? Just
If
go
you're
back to A1.
A1, stick it to A1. But one of the things you'll notice here, so it goes 2 degrees to the right, 2 degrees to, well, this is 2 degrees to the left, and then you got 2 degrees up and 2 degrees down. So it's a 4-degree swing.
That's a big.
Up and down.
Is that one of the only ones in golf that does that?
There are others that have that much swing, but no others that have this many settings, and nobody else has a true A1 center.
The home base.
Home base setting.
Yeah.
So one of the key things is that you can change loft independent. So if I'm moving along this axis, I'm only changing loft. If I move along this axis, I'm only changing lie angle on this axis.
Oh.
Then when you get on the diagonals, that's when you're doing both.
So like if you're doing F2, you're doing a little bit of everything.
F2 is a little bit of everything. So this is, you want to go a little bit lower, and you're going more upright, so you're going more draw on this one. So this is a low draw. So this is when somebody's hitting it high, they've got a high fade going on, we're putting them in F2. Same deal.
Now, where do you see most people get fit? In the F range, I would imagine,
You know, I think I started and used the example of high right. That's a typical miss for a lot of people. They get a little bit spinny, a little bit of fade going on. So we're hitting this quadrant quite a bit this year. The other thing that I will is this new laser on the face.
I did see that.
One of the feedbacks we got from our tour players,
They couldn't see the face.
they couldn't see the face. When they look down and you see a satin crown and a satin face, they're like, where's my face? How do I line up? And so,
No guys were taking
yeah,
shots too.
yeah, you saw some of those images. So they were starting to put some of these vertical lines. So we're like, okay, let's design a really nice, clean laser pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really cool black DBM finish that we have. Very durable, cool satin look. You're seeing the black on black, the shiny gloss Cobra with the satin black body. Very popular player's iron. This fits anywhere, you know, from a scratch player up to, you know, 10 handicap player.
What irons are you playing?
I'll play the these irons right here. I use the King Tech X.
Now, is that forged as well?
So this is a forged face, but then it's got a cast body. It's hollow, so that's hollow. It's got foam inside. So we have these two, which kind of are sisters. So this is a little bit better player, and this is a little bit higher handicap. But these still,
They look so close.
yeah, very close.
This is a little, let's say, a nicer finish, but not by much.
Not by much. And when you look at the shape, there's a little bit of difference.
It's a little.
So this is an example of our 3D printer. It's not the actual 3D printer. In fact, this is printing a little piece of plastic here. Obviously, it's not metal.
When they print them, because I was asking the guy earlier, do they then print them into a mold? Is that basically how it has to go?
No, so that's the really cool thing about 3D printing. There's no mold needed. So we're going straight from the computer to part.
So how are they printing it on metal?
So what they do is it starts with a bed of powder, and then we have a laser.
Oh, he was telling me.
So a laser comes through. It's called direct laser sintering. So the laser sinters that powder into the very first layer of the iron, the very bottom layer, and then it moves up, and it does another layer, and it goes 2,600 layers to get one iron. So it takes 24 hours to get a whole iron, layer by layer, but it's laser sintering that powder into that metal powder into a solid state.
What does that cost though in comparison to standard production on a regular iron? Is whatever. I don't know your exact numbers, but like, is this 5 times, 10 times?
It's about double, and that's what you're seeing in the price point. These are expensive irons because they take a long time to print. It's expensive material, expensive process. We're hoping that as time goes, the price will be able to come down.
So are these little samples of what it's making then?
This is
plastic version.
That's a plastic version.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So what's really cool is the performance that this thing will bring to you. So
Because Homer's playing a 3D printed. Is it all his irons or his one iron or his longer irons?
So that was one of the ways that we were able to get him to sign with us, is being able to adapt his needs into an iron really quickly with 3D printing. So we're able to design it exactly to his top line thickness, to his offset.
They literally just measure it out, and then we're making your version.
Yep, and we make a new version. We can have it back in like 3-4 weeks. So speed is really cool on this, as far as being able to make adjustments. But the other thing that's really cool about this, when you look at this iron, so this iron looks like a blade.
Yeah.
So it's small.
See, I love this.
Yeah. That's kind of a window to the inside that hints to you of the lattice that's going on the inside. Excuse me. So this is a really small blade, and typically blades are solid metal. So they're forged. There's no cavities inside. It's just all solid. This, what you're seeing here, is an opening to the inside. So the inside has this lattice that flows around, and we can take out weight but maintain structure. So this thing feels like a blade because we've got the structure. Plays like a game improvement iron. Maybe even a super game improvement iron. Yeah. So you're getting, so what we do.
Have you hit these yet?
Oh yeah.
And what are your thoughts? You love them?
So everybody raves about these irons. They hit it and they're like, what is that? Like, it's shocking how much performance. You hit it out here on the toe, you're not going to lose distance. So we've taken all of the weight out of places that we don't need it. We've placed it in these 2 big tungsten chunks into the heel and toe for increasing MOI.
What's the normal setup? 4-through pitching wedge for these? Or do people go 3?
4-through pitching wedge is our stock set.
3 iron seems to be
yeah.
these days.
Yeah. So super excited. You can have something that...
Yet? Are these for
These
sale?
are coming out in March. Yeah. So
What's the retail on these?
These are $2,400. Yeah.
I know they're not gonna be
Yeah,
cheap,
not going to be cheap. So something that looks like a blade, feels like a blade, performs like game improvement. Something that we've been searching for as engineers for a super long time.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I love the aesthetic of it for sure.
Yeah, so there's your layer. So you can see it going from the very bottom. So this is 2,600 layers. It's built in this iron. That's the CAD file. And that shows you what the printer's going to print that piece by piece.
And each iron takes how long to make?
24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's see if it'll show us the process here. Am I having
Are these things actually making these or no?
Yeah, it is.
Are
yeah.
they really?
Yeah.
Is supply and demand going to be a problem for these?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
it's going to be.
Yeah. We're going to have huge demand, and that's why the price is high. And we're hoping that we can figure it out. There you can see they're coming out of the printer. But yeah, the processing, the speed, it's really quick to get to one part, like for Max Homa or one set, because we can make changes, send it off. We don't have to do a mold. We can just 3D print it. But then to mass produce it, that's where we start to run into speed problems. It takes a long time.
I see what you're saying. Making 7 irons or 8 irons is one, but making 8,000
Yes, yes, yeah. But we're excited about where this can take us as a company and the future of performance. And Max Homa has one of, so he has a set of MBs that are 3D printed, and then he has one of these that's got a little bit more performance in it, and it's 4 iron.
Yes, okay,
yeah.
That's what I read.
Yeah.
That's what I read.
But his full set is 3D printed, but he has one of these that has more performance.
Why wouldn't someone like that want this? Just because of the feel?
I think he's so used to playing that MB, which is a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit more workable.
Yeah.
We're still thinking he might get into something like this in the future, but I think it's baby steps, getting somebody to change what they've trusted for many years.
So what do you, of your irons that you have, forgiveness is comparison to the ones that we first looked at?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wow.
Honestly, what's amazing, there you can see the inside of that. So I tell people we're skipping 5 iterations of shapes of irons to get the performance. We're giving you the shape over here of an MB, but maybe skipping 5 irons to get to the game improvement, super game improvement category.
That's pretty cool. I did not know it was that detailed into it.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to spend a couple minutes.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
So March 1st is the official.
I don't know the exact date in March, but yeah, somewhere in that month time frame.
And they'll
It's coming
sell.
up.
I mean,
Yeah, they will sell. We had a limited version that we offered at the beginning. It was a limited edition. It came in a special
is
box.
that the one of 500 I saw?
That's the one of 500.
Okay.
So there's the inside that you can see. This one's going to be, trying to bring it to a wider audience. There you can see the weighting left. But you can see the weighting, how it was latticed out on the inside. I need a pause on this video.
I even is it logoed? Is it limited, with the 3 on it?
So that was the limited.
That was the one of 500.
Yeah,
okay.
and so this one we're branding as just 3DP Tour.
Cool.
Yeah, with this Crown C. So, but yeah, that was, you caught the little logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool. You guys got to be excited about it then.
Yeah, we're super excited. Like our whole thing is we want to bring game enjoyment to the golfer. We want them to be able to have fun, hit something that's amazing, looks great, and we feel like we got it with these 3DP irons.